How's it going, guys? Welcome to Rugged and Ruthless. We are on another adventure at the Iron Spike Train Museum, brought to you by WWII Mafia and Punchline Productions. This episode is going to be dedicated to my grandfather, hi Grandpa, fellow ferroequinologist, lover of trains and transportation. And we're joined with Claire today, and she's going to kind of explain what all of this is, and you can take it from here.
Well, Iron Spike model train got started back in the mid 2012 timeframe. We started out in a hobby store downtown Washington, Missouri, and grew too big for that store. And we moved up here. We established ourselves as a 501c3, and we're now located at 1498 High Street, the corner of Highway 100 and High in Washington, Missouri. We have over 9,000 square feet of model trains in almost any scale you can imagine. Everything you see has been donated to us, and we are completely staffed by volunteers. We log between 11 and 12,000 volunteer hours, either building or maintaining the layouts that we have developed. And we just have a terrific, terrific team of volunteers.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm a kid in a candy store here. When I first walked through the door, I was like, oh, this place is pretty cool. And then Claire brought us back here. And what's not to love about this place? I mean, this place is just phenomenal. They have every gauge train here. There's a mistress in one. There's a Sasquatch. There's eagles flying over. I mean, anything you can really think of here. There's a story behind it, and it is phenomenal. And these guys have been trying to get the trains running. It's a big operation. I mean, you could almost run an entire train station with the staff they have here. It is phenomenal. I'm just amazed at everything that is here. Like, I can't even take it all in, guys. I mean, I promise you. This is almost mind-blowing. It is. Like, I've walked through already once, and I'm still seeing, like right here, still seeing things that when I walk through, I'm seeing new stuff. So why don't you show us around some of the high points, like some of the cool stuff? Points.
Well, let's see. We would start the tour normally with our trailer park. Trailer parks are always interesting. And there are quite a lot of little stories going on. If you can get into some of the detail, you'll see families having their barbecue, kids at the playground. You might see a lady saying goodbye to one of her gentleman callers. Kids in the swim pool, above ground, of course.
Well, it is a trailer park.
Yeah. We have several car dealerships where you're going to find some really exquisite miniature models of vintage cars.
Now, how do you know when you find like the props like this, like these old buses and these classic vintage cars? Now, I understand those are donated, but how do you like say, okay, I'm going to take a scene and I'm going to make a scene? Like, and I mean, the manpower and the hours that it takes to do all this is amazing. But how do you guys decide, like, okay, we're going to add on to something or we're going to take something? How do you guys decide that?
You know, the guys work well together. And when we get a donation in and start going through the different things, the ideas just start firing. And, we could do this, we could do that. And as long as they agree, that's what happens. This particular church right here was built by a gentleman in World War II who traded cigarettes for parts to build it. And it actually has a bell that rings in it.
Going for realism.
Yes.
I mean, just the scale of this is so immense. I don't even know how many man hours it took just to get it to where it's at. I mean, this is just
well, as I said,
amazing.
We've been at it for 10 years now, building. And we have averaged over 10,000 every year. So you could figure 100,000 volunteer hours plus.
100,000?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, the scope of this is, I don't think you understand the scope of this place. You're not going to see it on camera. I mean, this place is immense. I mean, I love the forest scene. It looks like down by the river, and you've got the bluffs and, you know, a lot of Missouri history, but also you got mountain ranges and.
Well, the concept on the end scale is that it goes from the Mississippi to the Rockies. So you'll see a lot of the nation modeled in between.
So what's your favorite? I mean, you're here all the time. What's your favorite?
I really like this old-time farm. It's almost an Amish farm without a lot of electricity. You've got the carriages and the animals, everything done by hand, and the detail is incredible.
Oh, come here.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
We've got a sidekick. This dog is awesome.
And even though there are so many finished areas, there's always something that can be tweaked or improved or changed.
Well, just the paint with a hand paint. You're literally taking a small brush and you're painting this. I've actually helped do a diorama like this before when I was younger. I had a teacher in 8th grade. His name was Mr. Hampton. Never forget this guy. He had a small one that we did as kind of a project. And we would take the aluminum foil and the plaster and then we'd go back in and paint it. And my grandfather got me started out loving steam engines. That's how my journey started. He had a steam engine that we had. It had like a Ferris wheel and roller coaster. You put sterno in there, and it was a legit steam. And the whistle, I mean, come on, the whistle's great. I was in it. My buddy works with BNSF, and he's an engineer and a conductor. For guys that don't know that, Mr. Conductor is actually in charge of moving the trains to make sure each one of the cars is in the right spot. Sometimes they're ticket takers if it's like an Amtrak. And the engineer is the one that actually drives the train. Most people think the conductor is the one that drives. He actually conducts the way the train is supposed to go, line up, and move out of the rail.
And tells the engineer when to go.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And
he really owns that train.
Yeah, and he checks for the switches and make sure they're on the right track. And that's what my buddy does. But he's also an engineer. He drives. He said, I'd rather be the conductor most of the time because everything falls on the engineer. So let's go over on this side. St. Louis is really built on river travel and trains.
Yep.
I think it was, Carnegie created the East Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't know that. First steel bridge over the river.
Right.
Ever was Carnegie. He created that. He had an office downtown. It was a walkway, and then they put a train over it. Very quickly after that, because he was a train man, he came from, he learned his trade from a train man.
No.
And it's one of those things where the history part, if it wasn't for the railway, and we wouldn't have a lot of what we have throughout the nation. So this is a big tribute to that throughout all the centuries.
That is a lot of what we try to emphasize when we have children here and take them on tours, is that the railroads are really responsible for the growth of the United States.
Yep.
The trains helped us move west and how the towns grew around the trains, and they don't teach that anymore.
Well, I mean, now with cars.
Exactly. That's not part of the curriculum anymore. And so a lot of kids don't understand how important trains were to the growth of the nation.
I mean, we're the gateway to the West here in St. Louis.
Absolutely.
And a lot of it came from trains. I mean, yes, it was the beginning. We have Lewis and Clark from St. Charles going westward, trying to find the routes of the Pacific. Then you turn around, you had Carnegie building a bridge across, which you have U.S. Steel, which was in Granite City. Like, everybody had the part. And what really amazes me, though, is we went from horse and buggy to trains really quickly.
Pretty quickly, yeah.
I feel like Godzilla walking through here. I feel like I'm going to see little guys running, Godzilla, you know.
Well, Jim is in the process of working on this section, which is sort of a cradle-to-grave veterans care center. We've got a doctor's building, a cancer center, St. Valentine Hospital, the church. He hasn't put in the cemetery yet.
So I'm noticing little, like, the rocks. Man, the rocks are just, somebody took a lot of time with this.
This section was built by another museum, and we inherited it. It had been in storage for 8 years when we placed it here. And then we built the next section in our best attempt to blend.
Can you find the hot dog man?
The hot dog man is our daily scavenger hunt.
Okay. So you guys do a daily scavenger hunt?
Absolutely. The first person to find him every day wins a special prize. And he is an HO figure, so he's only about that big.
Okay.
But he could be anywhere.
That's what I was saying. Is he just on this one, or is he?
He could be on any layout, any level.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
You can spend like 6 hours in here and not find him.
So you really look for the detail. He could be very hidden, or he could be very obvious.
Up there's the woman in the red dress.
Yep. This is our newly deceased gentleman. And this lady in black is his widow. And unbeknownst to the widow is the girlfriend coming up to mourn.
So rugged and ruthless. And I'm noticing you said something about the outhouse. I'm starting to notice what you're talking about, the outhouse.
Yes. There are over 50 outhouses in this room. And for some reason, that's just something train guys seem to like to model. And some of them actually...
Because there's another right here, too.
Yep. Some of them have people in them.
Oh, there's somebody in there going to the bathroom in the outhouse. That is phenomenal.
Detail. Now, like on this house that's under construction.
Got a roofer up there.
We've got a roofer. They've laid a pipe from the fire hydrant.
That doesn't look OSHA certified, though.
This was in the 50s. This was before OSHA.
Oh, okay.
We didn't have to worry about OSHA.
I mean, some companies don't worry about OSHA now. Let's be real.
That's true. That's true. A&P, a grocery store from days gone by, the Greyhound bus station.
Now, when you're doing this, I'm noticing that you don't have modern cars with old scenes. You are actually basing the cars off what is available at that time. So, like, if it's 50s, everything's 50s. If it's 60s or 70s, it's amazing.
Gas stations like this were very common in the 40s and 50s.
They would check your oil and do all that stuff.
Do all that kind of stuff. And families would go on vacations in their cars. This little boy just couldn't quite make it to the restroom, so he's peeing on the wall.
Oh, my goodness. But, I mean, this is very...
That's reality.
Exactly. You're encompassing real life with this.
Yep, that's reality.
There's, look, construction.
Always construction.
And look how, notice, just like in real life, one little spot and 9 miles worth of...
Traffic.
There's a guy jumping off the bridge.
That's Billy Joe McAllister. For those of you who remember Ode to Billy Joe, jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. And there he goes.
Oh, look, they're over there getting close.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to be necking before too long.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be giving each other their class pin.
Oh, up there where you're standing there's the still.
Oh, I like the still.
That would be...
old moonshiners.
Yeah, that would be back here.
Another outhouse.
Yeah, another outhouse.
But they're all different. I mean, they're similar but different.
Yeah, right.
Oh, look, he's got his corn mash. Oh, would you look at that. And you got people, I mean, you've got people rafting down the rivers here. I mean, what does it say? Pat's Blue Ribbon Beer. I had a friend of mine drink that. He still drinks it. I don't know how he does it. Oh, you got the riverboat for the trains.
Now, this is a section that is obviously still under construction. It's not finished
I can tell from
yet.
all the construction trucks.
Yep. My husband's the one that built a lot of these bridges that look like they're built out of matchsticks. But this is the sample of what they were shooting for. This is something you don't see anymore. It's an ice house where they would load the ice blocks into the refrigerated train cars.
Oh, like where they would cut them out like on the lakes and stuff and then pick them up and move it on there?
Yep.
They would generally put them in sawdust to keep them from melting. Generally.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
They would take sawdust from the mills and they would put them in there to keep it insulated so it wouldn't melt. So a lot of times, it would eventually melt off. Those blocks of ice last forever. I mean, I just saw that on a history thing one time. So I used to be a chief operating officer for a worldwide brokering company, and I would do a lot of overseas containers.
Okay.
I would pack them, 40-foot high keels. I would pack them with materials like papers and plastics. And I don't see any overseas containers here.
Well, that's more of a modern thing. And then these are more in the
50s,
40s
60s,
and
70s,
50s. I
40s,
think we
50s.
do have some, though, over here on the N scale.
Oh, yeah, new overseas containers. Look at that. Got the 53-footers, intermodals. I've used Mars before. I don't know how to say it properly. K-line, I've used those before. So I've actually loaded those and sent them to rail more than once. Guys, if you guys are ever in Washington, Missouri, you guys got to come check this out. I mean, honestly, this is just, I feel like a little kid. Like, just looking the problem is, I want to touch everything. I'm a typical male.
That's a problem.
I brushed a tree. I'm sorry. I brushed a tree on accident.
Every neighborhood has that one house where they don't take care of anything. So we've got that house too.
Hey, Mom, looks like our house. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Sorry, Mom. Oh, the old cars. Where I'm from, that's like every other house.
Yeah. No, in the backyard.
No, most of the time they're in the front yard where I'm from. Look at that, somebody fishing.
Yeah. Think we have a gentleman on a log here. Yeah. He's not told him. He does not have an outhouse available, so he's just trow dropped on a log. And the bear's coming up behind him.
Look at the old planes. That looks like an old TWA, the Trans World Airlines.
These two people, the gentleman passed away and the wife donated his train layout. And so we gave her a skydiving club where you have a free trial jump, no strings attached.
That was punny.
Supposed to be. Oh, yeah.
How much does that thing weigh? The old gear wrench.
It's pretty heavy. Rugged.
Man, you get ruthless with this thing too. Man. Oh, yeah, you have fighter jets flying overhead over here.
Yes. Uh-huh. Yep.
What will they think of next? Oh.
Yeah. Center of bull.
There it is. There it is. See, look. Now look at the scope of this. Now look around, and you've got to find one hot dog vendor out of all of this. Now, do you get people to come in here that that's what they like to do? They say,
yeah.
really?
I'm going to find that hot dog man. Yes.
I mean, that actually makes sense. The hot dog man. Well, I mean, there's hot dogs right here too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that one makes sense. Sometimes we hide him so you can't see the red and yellow of the umbrella. So that makes it even harder.
Now, is it a different thing? You have like a few that you do? Like you have like...
We only have one. And after somebody finds him, we'll move him to a new location.
So what's the longest it's been hidden?
Usually 2 or 3 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah.
I like how you guys got the smokestack with the cotton and...
Yeah.
Look at this. Fighter jets, an F-16 and an F-15 flying over the mountains. That's I mean, just the detail. I didn't even see it when we walked through the first time.
No, you don't. Somewhere there are some nude bathers as well.
The nude? Oh, that's over by the pond.
Well, no, there's some here in the N scale too, I believe.
At the quarry. I know there's some at the quarry.
Yeah.
Now we're on another scavenger hunt.
I have some that I won't let them put out. We have a layout up front that was built by a gentleman who worked for Otis Elevator, and he used parts from elevators to make things move. Now, we didn't know a whole lot about that when we first got his layout, and it was up to us to maintain it. One of the features he had were gondolas that go back and forth on a wire.
Oh, yeah.
We discovered that they were driven by cassette tape motors. So
that's ingenious.
When you get into model railroading, you look at the whole world a little bit differently. And you start seeing, oh, I could do that and make this on my layouts. It's fascinating to see how people's minds
You're creating
think.
your own world. Essentially, it's how
Absolutely
your world wants to look.
Yep.
You're creating your world.
Yep.
I don't know why I'm fixated on the nude beach and the outhouses.
I think the nude beach was back here, wasn't it?
Oh, right here. Literally right here.
Literally right here. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There they are.
Down by the Sasquatch. There's Sasquatch, and there's the little nude quarry. So when you come to a train museum, you don't think to find nude beaches, and there's more than one here. So...
modelers have a good sense of humor.
Let's go with that. Let's go sense of humor. It's like they spend a lot of hours on this. They have to fantasize something. Claire, thank you so much for having us here.
Thank
man.
you for coming.
Awesome. I mean, I'm going to bring my son back here. He loves this stuff. But on that note, guys, thank you for watching Rugged and Ruthless. Please subscribe to all of our channels, all our social media. I'd like to thank all my first responders, teachers, veterans out there. You make the world turn because you are going to write that blatant check for your country. And you officers and firefighters, you do it every day. We love you. We got your 6. And see you on the next one. I don't know where we're going to be next.